Can you see me? Okay. So today I'm not really I'm not sure what is happening to the laptop. Some updates are happening and then later on it's not switching on. So I'm just going to use my cell and do this class. Okay. So welcome to class 3 of today's season 5. Did you all have any doubts from the previous classes? Anybody? Um, Okay, I can't see too many people with this cell mode. Um, let's start the class. I request all of you to go on mute because I may not really have too many options on my cell phone to mute and all of that because of the screen size. Okay, I request you all to just be on mute. Raki, please be on mute. And whenever you all want to ask a question, you all can just unmute yourself. Okay. Uh, so today in today's class, I wanted to talk about few things. In last class, the major concept that I think we spoke about was ego, and how we were talking about ego in its comfort zone, and when we are able to identify those areas where the ego is very comfortable and it doesn't like anybody to touch it when it is in the comfort zone or threaten that area of comfort and all of that, that is when we get into anger, we get into restlessness, anxiety. All of those things are signs where ego is basically sorry are signs where basically ego is um, okay, these are the signs where ego is getting triggered. So typically, what the POSCs are doing to us. So in the class, I have spoken about the POSC. All our karmic patterns comes in the form of persons, objects, situations, and experiences. And how do these karmic patterns exist within us? I think I may have told that in our um, lives, uh, in fact, past, present, and future, they are all happening in parallel because there is no concept of timeline, right? There is no concept of time because we are in our third dimensional space. Because we are in our third dimensional space. Um, am I on Bluetooth? Yeah, because we are in our third dimensional space, we feel that time is going very slowly, and hence there is this concept of past, present, and future. Okay, let me see whether it is recording properly. Just give me a minute. Okay, I'm just hoping it's recording properly. So, this past, present, and future is something that we are actually perceiving, but it is actually not like that. It is just that time is just a small dot. It's that present moment, and that present moment sort of just gets expanded like time. So there is a past, there's a present, and there's a future. So we feel that we did something in the past, but actually it is all happening so parallelly. We can't really understand that because our mind is not still multi-dimensionally able to perceive things. As we go to higher dimensions, we will be able to perceive all these happenings at a multi-dimensional level. So imagine when we talk about multi-dimension, imagine that a part of us is also in the third dimension, a part of us is also in the fifth dimension, a part of us is also maybe in higher dimensions. Not only that, we have different poses that are coming to us, right? Those poses are also in different dimensions, and they are actually giving us experiences, relative experiences in different dimensions. Okay, it is actually going like that. And plus all of these incarnations that we have taken in different frequencies, they are also um, interacting with each other. For example, let's say we did a lot of sadhana in this incarnation. This is also going to help, what do you say, rapidly grow our incarnations, which are in our maybe in our lower frequency. There, the awareness will also come quickly to be able to uh, exit some patterns. So, and let's say in our higher dimensions, some sadhana is being done, we are also going to get impacted. So we are basically going to get an idea. Sorry, we'll. So all of these things are actually interconnected. But we really cannot understand this whole complex um, complex way in which energetically we are connected, majorly because we are not able to perceive at that level. So let's assume that it is all happening, but as of now, we are aware only of this current incarnation, and that too the awareness is where the mind goes. Okay, for example, I'll tell you, you may have noticed this. Let's say you're chanting, and suddenly you'll feel that I'm actually chanting and I'm also able to think about the past. Let's say you're thinking something and you're also chanting, but you feel that you're doing both in parallel. But our awareness is shifting so quickly to whatever you're thinking, to whatever you're chanting, that you actually don't feel that difference. You feel that, oh, see, I'm chanting, I'm reciting these shlokas, but I'm also thinking about something else. So, which is why we think, oh, see, I'm doing all of these things, but still I'm thinking about so many other things. I have to focus. I should not think about other things. And then, yeah, you'll bring back the focus to what you're doing, but suddenly you'll find yourself again lost, and you'll again bring it back. You'll again bring it back. So, this exercise, we do it in all forms of meditation, all forms of chanting, all forms of all forms of exercises which the mind doesn't like. Typically, it doesn't like because it's not habituated to it. Whether it is chanting, whether it is studying, whether it is singing, whether it is anything for that matter, if it doesn't like in the present moment, if something is happening and if it doesn't like it, why it doesn't like? Because the ego is still not surrendered in that area, and it needs to be trained. If you want to continue to do those actions that you're doing in the present moment, you have to train your ego. Like we spoke in the last class, ego will surrender, but you'll have to push, you'll have to make it do. Like how we train an elephant, we have to make it do, force it to do whatever we are supposed to do. Yeah, even if it is probably not putting its mind, if it's not happy, there is no good feeling, there is can somebody please go on mute? I can't mute you. Somebody's baby is talking. Okay, thank you. So we have to force ourselves, like how we how we ask our children, right? Okay, see, even if you don't, exams are coming, so sit and study. Now the child is very distracted. So what are we expecting the child to do? Okay, she'll sit there and study. I'm sure she also has distractions, right? So a child who is able to focus constantly, get her mind back to that studies, is eventually going to develop that habit of sitting in one place. But if a child is constantly getting up, coming and asking the mother something, I want water, I want to go to the restroom, I'm hungry, give me food. Lots of bahanas will come like this. Why? Because the mind doesn't like to do what it is planning to do, or what you have intended to do, and that intention has come from a higher place. Mind wants to do, but there is no habit developed yet, so the ego doesn't allow the mind to basically stay in that place. It is constantly running to different places. So this is where we have triggers. So like this, we have different habits that we have accumulated from many let's say past moments, past lives. You can say past lives. There is nothing called past life in reality. It is more about in whatever we feel we have in our memory, because of this time lapse that we feel. Whatever we feel that it is already there in our baggage, in our database, that we can call as stored patterns, right? Patterns or habits. Now, those habits, there are habits which are still not expired, which means for this life, you are still using it, and you are learning from those habits. You are growing from those habits. You like them. You like to basically be engaged in those habits. But then there are some habits which you don't like, and there are some belief systems also which you don't like. So typically what happens is, when we are in the extreme of anything and we are not stable in any belief system, we are not um, it is not helping us go forward in our evolution. The universe by default brings in poses or people or objects or situations or experiences. See, situations and experiences is a combination of many things. It can be people, objects, and it can be some, let's say, just a traffic situation, some experience where maybe you have some turn of events where you felt something. So those are also experiences. Or let's say you encountered some set of events, and those are also experiences. Either way, it can come in any form, but the input is going to all of these senses. So let's just say it comes from external. uh, your sense organs, your eyes are seeing it, your ears are hearing it, your mouth, your tongue is probably tasting it, the skin is feeling it. Okay, some of these things are those inputs that we get. And maybe your hand is also experiencing it. Let's say body is also experiencing it, maybe pain. Those are also some experiences. So all of these are coming into our perception, right? So like that we get the triggers will come in from people, how from through their behaviors, through the way they talk, through the way we observe things. They may not even be interacting with us, but when we are looking at them, we have certain triggers. For example, there may be a person smoking. He may not even be interacting with us, but we may not be very comfortable with it. So, or there may be a person who's probably doing, um, rather, he's keeping his place dirty. Then, if that bothers you, yes. Or a person may, let's say, children, if they're constantly eating junk food, they may be in their own masti, but you are bothered about it. So, like this, situations, experiences may not be interacting with you, but it will still trigger you. And things in the news, they will trigger you. Okay, some news happened, or somewhere some war happened, and those are also bothering you. So, like this, anything can come through these sense organs. These sense organs are more like inputs, gates. Okay, they are more like gates. And through this gate, when we allow anything and everything to come, then that through that gate, whatever comes, that also has the power to control your mind. And your mind will go away with that, whatever came through that gate. If we are not in awareness, if we are in awareness, what happens? Whoever can come through the gate, first of all, you will first allow who can come through the gate. You will say, I will not be seeing this. I don't want to watch this. Let's say some violent movies, vulgar movies. I don't want to watch this because I'm not very comfortable with it. So you are basically filtering those poses out from your, which come through the gate of your eyes, and what can come through the gate of your ears that you're controlling. Many times we may not be able to control what comes through the gate of the ear because you can't actually close it. But the way we can control it is maybe walk away from places which are very disturbing. The ears are getting something very disturbing, so you can walk away from that place. But here you'll also have to watch. For example, let's say you are sitting and meditating or you're sitting and chanting. Now there is a lot of noise happening in the house. Here, the disturbance that you feel is more irritation. Okay, it is more of ego is expecting a comfort, silence, but there is noise happening around. So, of course, if you have other places to go and meditate, go. But then, if that is the only place you have to go and sit and meditate, but then there are other people in the house also who are let's say, doing other work, then what happens is they will not stay quiet, right? So, at that time, the best thing to do is to basically think that that pose is showing me something that I already have within me, an irritation that I already have within me. So, what are these poses? They are nothing but, um, let's say, instruments of God, or let's say, team. They work in God's team. At that time, they are coming to you based, carrying God's instructions. Because who knows what is it that we have within us that is not necessary for this current incarnation or for this current moment? God knows. So, what will He do? He will send a pose, and that pose will carry that information in a frequency. The message will come in the form of visual, mostly visual, right? Whatever happens in front of us is mostly visual, or visual if it's eyes, auditory if it's ears, taste or sensual if it is through the skin. Whatever triggers are coming like that. Okay, but once it comes in, it is actually in the frequency. The frequency of that particular thing that is coming to you is equal to the frequency that is within you, in the form of energy, in the form of some emotion. Okay, they have to match. Only then your ego will get irritated, frustrated, or whatever, based on the emotion that is inside. If irritation is inside, it will get irritated. Ego will get irritated, or mind will get irritated. If um, anger is inside, anger will be, you'll experience anger. If it is fear, then fear will be triggered. So whatever is within, to that frequency, there will be a match and it will come in front of us. And then it will go and directly hit that particular belief system. Let's call these belief systems cages. Okay, why am I calling this a cage? Because it is imprisoning us. It is basically limiting our growth by binding us within that cage. So let's call it cage. Now, this cage has to be opened. It you should come out of the cage. What is coming, trying to come out of the cage? The anger is trying to come out of the cage. Irritation is trying to come out of the cage. Fear is trying to come out of the cage. Disappointment is trying to come out of the cage. Anxiety is trying to come out of the frustration is coming out. Let's say so many things. Disgust is coming out. So many such things are coming out of the cage because you have locked it up inside that cage. How did they even get there in the first place? So, I think in the last class we spoke about how we form belief systems. Typically, the way we learn things in our life is because we have started to believe something that is happening in front of us. So then we say, oh, this happened because, or this is because. So we form a belief system. For example, let's say I have to learn to tell truth. Okay, I was a liar before. I have to I have to learn to tell the truth. So I will get experiences, let's say, to learn to tell the truth. So maybe something, where maybe a story or maybe some experience will say how important being truthful is. So then you will form a belief system saying, oh, to being truthful is like walking the path of God. So where there is God, there is truth. Where there is God, there is dharma. And dharma, truth, everything is basically interchangeable. So since I want to continue to walk the path of God, I won't tell lies. So that is how a person will form a belief system saying, I will not tell lies. So now what happened? There is a new cage that formed to say, I'm not going to tell lies because I want to stay on, I want to be aligned to God. So this is a new belief system. Now that belief system is getting strengthened and strengthened and strengthened and strengthened. So like this, we form belief system. It was not there before. That is also a cage. Okay, that is also a cage. It may be a good cage for now, but in future, some higher experience is going to happen. Some higher experience will probably tell me some new different language about truth. What I thought was truth may be something else, but uh, truth may be just whatever is making God happy, that is dharma and that is truth. But what doesn't make God happy, that may not be truth at all, that may be adharma. But then, for example, let's say there is a old lady whose son died in the war. Now, will you go and tell her, "Oh, your son died in the war"? Maybe she's already recovering from a heart problem or something. Then you may not directly go tell her in a very rash way. You may slowly decide to reveal that information to her. So, oh, I won't be able to. I won't tell truth to her. I'm going to tell a lie. So, in such cases, because you're trying to safeguard some other person in the right way, that without any selfishness, here truth may be regarded as the right thing to do. It may be dharma. So there are lots of such different ways in which truth and dharma are looked at. But for that, we have to see the simple principle of, will God be happy with what I'm doing? Will God be disappointed with what I'm doing? Am I going to let God down? So if you think in that direction, to whatever extent you get the awareness, you can basically follow that path. So like this, lots of such belief systems are going to come and go, come and go, come and go. Now, when I have already learned everything from that belief system and I have to let it go. For example, let's say I was eating as a what do you say, as a person who was eating non-veg. I was eating non-veg, and it was pleasurable, it was good, it was feeling like everything was good. But then after some time, I got some experience where I realized, oh my God, there is so much of animal cruelty involved in this. So I'm not going to kill an animal and I'm not going to eat it for my pleasure. Because animal eating is not even so the person learned that, oh, I'm not actually eating it because it's my lively it sustains me, but I'm eating it because it is giving me pleasure, because the masalas are what is actually making it interesting. I'm not willing to eat raw meat, so obviously that is not my food like other animals eat in the forest. So maybe this is not my food. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly come out of that belief system. So what happened? That news basically triggered something within me, and eventually I formed a new belief system. So I let go of a belief system and I formed a new belief system. So what did I do? Like climbing stairs, I let go of some belief system and I hold on to another belief system. So unless we let go of something, unless we hold on to something, we won't be able to let go. Like you, if there is no step ahead of you, you won't be able to just keep your leg in mid air, isn't it? You have to actually have a firm ground there, and then you will let go of this previous step because you know that there is a firm ground. So like this, we are constantly forming belief systems and we are letting go of belief systems. Today, if you see, we may have let go of so many belief systems, and we may not even be aware of it. Today, we are getting to talk about all of these things, what is exactly happening, and I'm trying to bring your awareness to all these things. But before this class also, when you have never heard about this also, you have let go of so many belief systems. It is automatically happening. But today you're just getting knowledge of that. That's all. You're just being aware about it when I'm talking about this, so that you can do this with awareness. And when we do it with awareness, it will happen very fast. Okay, we can grow faster with awareness. Without awareness, we are probably going in a loop many, many times. So, belief systems are necessary for us. Cages are necessary for us because it helps us to stay in the cage and learn some experiences and make some habits. And those habits helps build virtues, or it maybe builds bad habits also. Either way, they are experiences that we are making, and experience, a good experience comes to us, and after a certain experience we will learn from that experience. We will make that experience very unique to us. Somebody tells you something that is not an experience, which means you will not learn from what others tell you. Let's say I'm telling you something, you will probably not be able to retain that for a very long time. The only way you will retain and basically, when you practice it, while practicing there will be some new experiences you will actually get, some new thought processes you will get, that will make that belief system stronger. It may have aligned with whatever I told, but it will, you, whatever you remember, whatever uh, whatever you are actually now practicing, and whatever you are continuing to take it forward, no, that is not what exactly I told. It is basically a, whatever you have got through the filtration process of after whatever you heard from me. Okay, so it is very unique to you. That is why when you look at takeaways, class 2, I told so many things. Not one single takeaway matched with the other single takeaway. Everybody had different points, because what you take away from a class is very, very unique to you. And that frequency match is actually happening because constantly we are making belief systems, breaking belief systems, making, detaching, making, rather attaching to a belief system, detaching from a belief system, attaching to a higher step, detaching from the previous step. Okay, unless you hold, unless you attach to something, you cannot detach from anything. Remember this. Okay, unless you attach to something else, you can't get detached from something that you are already attached to. Hence, when I'm telling something, if you hold on to some concept here, you will have to hold on to it before you let go of whatever you already have. And since when you hold on to something, that hold has to be very strong, no, so that's why we sort of, while our step is here, we sort of learn to hold this strongly by practice. And then when we realize that our grip is very strong, then only we let go of this. Okay, it's common sense, right? Why will you let go of something unless you know that you're not going to fall down? Okay, so which is, I mean, that's a basic survival instinct, isn't it? So like that, even ego is based on survival instincts, and ego's fundamental is survival. So it will never let go of what it already has unless it feels that whatever it is now holding on to, some new stuff, is very, very strong for me. And you have to teach the ego, that's that strong hold, you have to teach the ego, then only it will observe and then it will hold on to that. So this is where ego will learn to eventually surrender, is what I told, right? So this is how practice will make the ego surrender. We have to talk. We have to talk to the mind. Now the mind is in control of the ego. So when we talk to the mind and say, hey, this is this new belief system that we are doing, right? So this new habit, this is how we have to do. It's okay. Let us not do that anymore. I'm not going to sit and watch Netflix anymore. I will sit and do chanting. Or maybe I will sit and read this book. I know Netflix is so. I mean, yesterday I watched this half drama and some series, and now this is very addictive. I really want to know what is happening. It's okay. The world will not fall down. We have to. We are making something new here, because how many more such dramas we are going to watch? After one drama, another drama, another drama, another drama. and you saw a pattern that you are not going to be satisfied at all every single day after you watch, those movies or those series are made in such a way that some climax, something is there by the end of each episode, and you want to know what is happening is going to happen in the next episode. So, like this, we have to pull it out. We have to pull the ego out from its attachments. But before that, we have to definitely make it hold on to a new habit. How? By forcing it, even though it doesn't like. Even though it doesn't like is a very important sentence. Even though it doesn't like, even though the feelings are bad, even if that act sounds very mechanical, even if it feels like a chore, sit and keep doing it, sit and keep doing it, sit and keep doing it. Because ego doesn't like anything good most of the time. If there is anything that is supposed to help you grow, ego doesn't like it. That is where it can indicate to you that, oh, this is where there is growth. So at least those are ideas. Anyway, what I'm trying to tell is belief systems are very important, and belief systems have to be let go, have to be held on to. So it's not like we can get rid of the cages entirely. We have to bind ourselves in some cage or the other, like going forward until we reach this state called mukti. Mukti or moksha means liberation from all cages. So that is a state where nothing binds you, no belief system binds you. Everything is very clear. And you do to learn something, you don't have to bind yourself in any belief system. Because that state is a state of liberation. Okay. So this is where we are all going to. But before that, we have to hold on to something, leave something, hold on to something, leave something, because we are still operating from a place of ego, and ego's fundamental nature is wanting safety. So it will always have a door, it will always have a fencing, like how we have, no? We always have a door for our house. Do we leave it open all the time? No, we don't. We are always closing our door. We may be inside, but our door is never left open. And is our gate always open? No, gate is also always closed. And we also have a fencing around our house. Why? Because of all of these egoistic belief systems that we have to feel safe. I mean, either way. So this is what is ego. As long as we have this body consciousness, we will always want cages, maybe even higher cages also are necessary as long as we have this egoistic mentality.
Okay, so it's very important for us to understand.
Let me come back to triggers. So anything that we have to let go of, how do we know what is getting expired? Which belief system is getting expired? Which is basically functional? We don't really know all those things because we are not having that kind of awareness. So God sends all these poses in front of us, and we get lots of these experiences from them where we have a lot of where we have disappointment, unhappiness, everything. We have preferences, we have expectations. All of these, our ego wants to keep its cage safe. So when we have expectations from other people, it means that ego needs those people to basically behave in a certain way to feel safe. If those people don't behave in a certain way, then it doesn't feel safe, because there is a mismatch between what the cage is and what the person is basically behaving or telling or anything. So just remember that if you feel uncomfortable, if you feel sad, if you feel restless, or basically you are in the center and there is stability, balance, all of that. But if something happens in front of you and then you shift like this off center, okay, it's also happiness, overload of happiness, or overload of sadness. but it is not stable. Okay. This also is going to actually, that also has to be removed. Okay. This is also a trigger. Let's say you are very excited about something all the time. You always want to keep doing some, let's say, dance. I'm just giving an example. Always some craving for like doing some activity because it gives you that high. That is also some imbalance only. And this is also imbalance. So if a pose is coming to, does something, something happens in front of you, let's call it trigger. If you are triggered and you go off center like this, remember that there is something within you that God is saying, hey, you have an obstacle within you that is not functional anymore. It is old. It needs to be moved out of you. Rather, see, it's not like we will remove everything from within us. It's not like we are, all that we are doing is detaching, like I told about that step, no? So God is saying, see, here you have a lot of attachment to this belief system and you need to let it go. Let go of that. But now ego is not going to immediately let go because it doesn't feel safe to let go of something that it has practiced so hard in making that cage. It was so comfortable in that cage, but now it doesn't want to let go. So, what it will do, it will keep resisting. It will keep resisting. It will keep resisting. It will say, no, I want you to do like this. I want you to respect me. I want you to be nice to me. I want you to do this work for me. I want you to be always talking to me. All of these are expectations because the ego is trying its level best for them to align with you so that it doesn't have to get out of the cage. So it is resisting, resisting, resisting. This is how, in the process of resistance, all these emotions got added up into that cages because that resistance builds over time and various other emotions gets trapped in it over time. And over a period of time, what happens? You don't like to even experience those emotions because they are sad emotions. So you will try to distract yourself. That is also like resistance only. So just remember at that time what should be done. What should be done? So you should first accept, you should first admit, you should first acknowledge that there is something within me that I need to detach from, that I need to let go of. It is some old step that I need to let go of. I need to remove my feet from there. But I'm not able to let go because I don't still, I want that person to do all of these things. So at that time, just think, what will that person do? That person has nothing to do with what I have inside. So them even they will not be able to change because poses are just some messengers. They are just bringing a message to you. So they are not people who will go undergo any change. They are like a constant in a mathematical equation. You are like a variable. So the constants will never change. If they are 5, they will always be 5. And they are 4, they will always be 4. Or even if 5 becomes 4, it will not basically change from 4 to 3 just because you ask. So that will never happen. So there is no use of shouting at a pose, blaming at a pose. I mean, things like we even blame the weather. The sun was very harsh today. That is why I'm very tired. This is also like blaming the pose. Today, the weather is very chill. That is why I'm feeling cold. So, like this, we blame a lot of such external poses, and it feels so natural. In fact, you know what? There will come a time. Have you see people like Ramana Maharshi, right? They never spoke. They never used to speak because at some point you will realize that all that you're talking to are so unnecessary. Either you're making cage, breaking cage, getting attention, seeking attention, some form of lack, something or the other is happening. That's why we are talking. So over a period of time, by the time ego melts, you will feel that there is no need to talk at all because there is no content at all to talk to anybody. Because you know that every single content you talk about, or you feel that need to speak or engage to somebody, some lack is always there. So, like for example, let's say if you have to meet your friends, you have to gossip about, let's say, other friends. And that is the way things have been happening since the past. Now, if you know that, oh, I'm never going to gossip about somebody else behind their back because I'm gossiping about myself only. Because everybody is a reflection of myself. So I can't gossip about myself. So then what will you do? Suddenly you feel that, oh my God, I am going and standing with my friends and I'm silent because I have nothing to talk to and they are mostly gossiping. So, like this, lots of such situations will come even at home. Over a period of time, you will realize that as you build knowledge through awareness and all of that, you will realize that actually there is nothing to talk. And even if you don't feel the need to talk to anybody through phone because there's hardly any content to talk. And this is how this happens the more you actually hold on to God. The more you hold on to God, ego starts feeling so safe in the presence of God and everything that it will sort of disengage from the worldly matters. This is it still doesn't mean that you are basically becoming like a sannyasi. No, that is not exactly what it is. You will still do your duties as a house wife. You will, let's say, as a wife, you will do your duties. As a husband, you will do your duties. As a anybody, you will still do your duties, but you are in your own head. You're constantly, let's say, engaging with God, talking to God, rather having some monologue conversations. All of this are happening, and you're very busy in your head. So, like this, so many things happen. Either way, what I'm saying is, when triggers come, don't listen to the ego at the time and get carried away in pointing a finger at the pose. The pose may be a very bad person. The pose may be doing so many unnecessary things. But first, okay, when we talk about acceptance, when we talk about admitting, it is not coming from a place of helplessness. It is coming from a place of, what do you say? We are more having the power. We are feeling the power that all of that is actually something that I can work on is within me. If you think about the other person, you feel helpless because you can't change that person. How much ever you tell them, they will not change. So instead, you will start to realize that, hey, the control is within me. Oh my God, that is such a feeling of relief. So that first you'll have to admit that whatever is happening right now in terms of me resisting them, blaming them, all of that is happening because there is something within me that they are trying to highlight. So at that time, you don't have to understand, you don't have to analyze, you don't have to really even know what is there that is within me. You just have to know, oh, there is something within me that wants me to detach. So at that time, just some emotions, all those things were trapped inside, right? So just let it go. Anger will come out. Watch the anger. So typically, if you can't watch the anger, stay in that angry state because it's very stimulating and you want to just go do something. So typically what you do, what I find very helpful is I just mentally offer it to God. I just offer it as bhog to God. God, this is for you, kind of thing. This is for you. I'm offering this to you. Once you offer it to God, it's no longer yours, isn't it, to claim. You can't take it back and then say, this is mine. No, then it became a prasad, right? Then the anger became a prasad. So you can't take the prasad and then hurt other people. So whatever, all of those trapped emotions that you can't tolerate, just offer it to God. After offering it to God, you just move on. So anger, anger and desire is something that you really need to work on primarily. Okay, because we it's a very, very potent energy that drops us down into lower consciousness very, very quickly. It's not exactly about you carrying anger. When you are throwing that anger on somebody because they are trying to break your cage or they are helping you detach from your cage, but then you are being possessive, you are fighting like a lioness is protecting her cubs from danger. If you are trying to act like that, then you are making another karma to, I mean, it's like you're making this situation did not help you then. Then what happens? You are actually adding +1 into the karma account because, oh, this situation did not help, so we need to bring her another situation so that she can learn. So, like this, lots of such instances are going to come, and all that we have to do is subtract the pose, let them go from your head. From your head, let them go. Tell that, oh, there was something within me, and that is what they triggered. They are constant, so I can't blame them, I can't change them, I can't fix them, I can't do anything to them. They are only bringers of message. And then you just have to think, this was within me, but why was this within me? Because I have only made these belief systems in the past. Well, God knows what all lives we've led, no? And what all situations we've faced, what all belief systems we've made, we really don't know about all that. And since we are still in our ego consciousness, all of these are still as a baggage within us. So don't analyze your discomforts. Don't put a story around your discomfort, because as soon as you put stories and uh, cook up some assumptions within around to, again your ego is making another cage to make it feel safe. Because of this happened. Oh, that is why. Okay, that one cage was formed. So don't analyze anything. Just think that I need to let this emotion go, and I have to stay in this uncomfortable state. I can't help it. I have to stay with it. I have to stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. That is the only choice we have. Bear. Okay, it's called titiksha in Sanskrit. Titiksha means you are actually firmly staying there mentally. Okay, it's not a physical thing, it's a mental thing. You're just not doing anything. You're not doing anything. You are just allowing it to happen. So, many people, I mean, in the past, the seasons also, people have asked, oh, if I have an abuser husband, what should I do? Let's say I am getting beaten up. What should I do? No, first of all, when the abuser husband is beating you, then there is a belief system that husbands should not hit me, husband should respect me. Okay, first belief system. And the thing is, there is anger because he's beating. Now all of this has formed in the past itself. It has slowly accumulated. Anger, all of that has now accumulated within that cage. That cage says person has to respect me. It is not working, it is not aligning, whatever experience is coming is not aligning, so anger is building up. But then when you become angry, you will get beaten more, let's say, for example. So that is why anger is building up inside, it is not going out. So, like this, we also get diseased because there is a lot of energy pile up there and that energy is not going anywhere. So, now what happens when we talk about acceptance? I'm not talking about accepting accepting and being helpless, get beaten. No, I'm not saying get beaten. That is not what acceptance is. Accept that this beating situation is happening because of something that is in my karmic pattern. That is why he's beating me. So mentally admit that something is within us. That is why the situation is getting orchestrated. And he is the one who's beating me. But that doesn't mean that you have to also be, let's say, constantly take the beating. Physically, you can do many things. Physically, you can maybe hit him back or escape from that situation or leave the relationship and go. It is up to you. Okay, physically, there are many things that we can do. When we talk about acceptance and surrender, there is nothing physical. I'm not talking about physical at all. Okay, I'm talking a lot about mental belief. Mentally, we are not going to blame that abuser. Because when we keep blaming the abuser, we will only pile up more and more anger and hurt ourselves. That is why it's called a chingari. Okay, that or that uh, it's like a spark that will burn us only, and so hence you can't actually hold on to that explosion or that explosive. So you need to let it go. And the explosion is so like atomic bomb that you needed a literally a abusive person to basically remove it from you, because that frequency is so matching with that abuser frequency. So that abuser had to be called in your life as a through your own soul contract to basically give you that experience. Until then, you wouldn't have got rid of this toxic frequency that you are vibrating in, that belief system is vibrating in. You had to, so it is more from coming from a point of knowledge. When you apply all this knowledge, then you are no longer trapped, trapped in this cage where saying, I want to be safe in this cage, I want to be safe in this cage. So you are the enemy, you are the enemy, you are the enemy, you are the one to blame, you are the one, because of you, because of you, because of you. We are just trapping ourselves in this cage and we are refusing to come out of the cage and then explore new things in the higher dimensions. New, see, we want happiness, isn't it? Let's, nobody will deny that we want happiness, but we can't stay in the cage to get happiness. If we trap ourselves in a cage that is not aligned to our future, we will only be sad, only be sad, only be sad. So, what is the point of wanting happiness but not willing to let go of something? It is called, I think, Stockholm syndrome or something. Stockholm syndrome says that even if something is really hurting me, bothering me, all of that, we tend to hold on to that familiarity. Okay, it is more about that familiarity that we are talking about. So that familiarity is uh, is is so good that we don't want to get out of it. So there are so many relationships where a person is probably abusing and all of that, but they don't get out of that relationship majorly because that discomfort is far more familiar to them than their assumption of the discomfort that they will have in the outside world. Maybe find a new house, find a new job, live, start life all on their own is probably far more difficult for them. And that's why they stay in an abusive relationship also. So, here, the very first thing that you have to bring in this case is to drop the belief system that he is my enemy. Yeah, you'll still get beaten as long as that karma exists. You can take a, you can still choose to, let's say, forgive them and just walk away from the relationship. You can forgive them and then maybe hit them back also, not from coming from a place of anger, but to stop them. You can do many things, but from your mind you should not have any hate. That is the place that we need to get to. Don't have any hate towards that person. Just know that I may have hit so many people in the past, and that's why this abusive relationship, I have probably been abusive. That was my experience. I chose in some past life. So now I'm going to be a receiver. I've chosen myself to be a receiver, and that's why I'm getting this. So what can I do? It's just completing the equation because I wanted this experience. That is why I brought him in my life. So you should think like that, and then you should just work out that situation. As your mental belief starts to calm down, that there is no enemy, I'm just facing whatever I have only done, kind of thing, but not coming from a place of victim consciousness. It's not victim consciousness. You are basically knowing that, yeah, I think I needed this experience. That is why it's coming. It's more coming from a place of empowerment. So when you keep doing that, no, what actually you will face, that acceptance. When you keep working on that acceptance, keep working on that acceptance, keep working on that acceptance, irrespective of any experience that pose brings to you, you will notice that the pose automatically shifts. His behavior automatically shifts, even if you don't ask him anything. The universe might bring him some experiences where he will learn to realize that, oh, women have to be respected. Something will happen in his life where he will learn to respect you. Why? Because you shifted. You are no longer you are refusing to blame the pose for whatever you are going through, because you are going through um, whatever dal you have only cooked in the past. Okay, whatever experiences we have uh, done in the past, whatever belief systems we have made, those are now coming back to us. And we have to go through it because they are our belief systems. We have to let them go. We have to detach from them. So stop having that belief system that they have to respect me, they have to do this to me, they have to do that to me, that if they don't do it, then I'm going to be angry. It won't work anymore, because you can keep running away from such things, but someday you have to face it. Someday you have to face it, because you have that within your database. You can't do anything. So if the relationship is so much threatening where your body is going to be killed, then I would say go away from that place, and then work on your sadhana when you are away from the relationship. And then, like kadi sadhana, like mentally don't have any hate, but then keep working until you have no hate anymore. That also you can do. But if that is mostly a mental situation, mentally abusive situation, at the time, pile up that strength to work on yourself, work on acceptance, bringing in all that irritation, frustration, and all of those things that you have within you are all piled up. So work on that and bring in a lot of these. Would you say admit that it was within you, and hence all of this is happening. So what I would say is, let's call these cages doshas. Okay, they're called doshas, or limited belief systems, or limitations that we have within us, or even in our shastras they are called papa and punya. Okay, papa is not something that is bad. Punya, so you can call them more like something that we did out of ego consciousness is called papa. Something that we did not do out of ego consciousness have gained merits. Like all the good things in your life today, you have earned because of some merits. And all the bad things that we have in our life are coming back to teach us some lessons from the past, because we did it out of ego consciousness, body consciousness, selfishness, all of that. Okay? So, hence, these things will always keep getting balanced in our life, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus. These are what brings to us our karmas. We will bring some pluses from into this life, we will bring some minuses into this life, and then we will work out our minus with the support of the plus, because these are like what do you say, shock absorbers. The pluses that we have in our life are like shock absorbers. We to constantly work on our challenges, we need a lot of cushion, we need some comforts, not more than comforts, we need to have some support systems to hang on to, because these are going to be very taxing, very difficult. While we are working on them, we need some of these shock absorbers. So we will bring plus and minus into our life. But when there is a person who you see, who you have, if you have lot of minuses only, there's hardly any plus, then try to see, try to practice gratitude, because there is hardly any life where there is zero plus. There is always plus, but we may not be able to see it because of our lack of awareness towards our pluses. Anyway, so like this, we will have to get triggered for something to be detached. Why I'm calling this detached and not released is because you cannot release anything from you. You are like this cosmos, okay, that Vishwarupa of God, that cosmos is already within you. You cannot remove anything from the cosmos, isn't it? Okay, you cannot remove anything from the cosmos. There will always be things inside the cosmos. It is just that you will choose to attach to something, you will detach from something. So, hence, don't act like this tigress that is trying to protect her cages. Let it go. Let it go. If something is very uncomfortable, and all of that, let it go. Typically, you will face this in relationships where you dislike so many things about a person and you like so many things. You have preferences as it has to happen. Life should happen like this only. Life should not happen like this. All of these have to be let go of because understand that you have nothing in your control. You may have likes, you may have dislikes, you may have desires, you may have preferences, but none of them will actually work. What is coming into your life is again based on these karmas and based on what we deserve. Everything is playing out. Hence, it's important that we remember some of these things. Okay, that God is already bringing to us everything that we need, all the experiences that we need. Like I said in last class, everything, whatever we get in our life, all the outcomes that we get in our life, all the experience that we get in our life is again for removing all of our limited belief systems and all of that. Whatever outcomes we get after our actions is again based on some merits that we have earned. It has no one on one relationship to what the action we perform. So, if you're constantly expecting that the output has to be matching whatever work I did, you'll be disappointed because expectations were set in there. Okay, so don't have expectations. Just do your duty in all the roles. Just do your duty and think that God is only my goal. Why God is your goal? Because that is where highest happiness lies. All the happiness that we seek in the world, they're all temporary. And if you notice, we have not stopped looking for this happiness. Even though we may not really want God in our life yet, God is still optional, but we have not stopped searching for God. Today, if we eat some food thinking that that is happiness, we are searching for that food again. We are again searching for something else again. We are searching for something else again. So, involuntarily or unconsciously, we are constantly searching for God. Whatever happiness you seek in somebody else is actually your program that you're looking for God, you're looking for God, but we actually don't know we are looking for God. So that is our treasure hunt. God is our treasure hunt's final reward. Before that, we will not stop. And the universe is also not designed as such that we don't stop because constant triggers are coming. You don't want those triggers, but they're still coming. It is constantly showing you your limitations. If everything was in your control, you would have stopped all of that and then just happily lied on the sofa and then slept off. But obviously, nothing is like happening like that. There is constantly something or the other happening, right? So nothing is in our control. The day we learn to realize that we should stop giving up our preferences and stop searching for anything, because nothing actually has permanent happiness. Nothing will satisfy us permanently. So once we start to slowly realize that, we will stop chasing objects. We will stop chasing anything to look for happiness. We are chasing our children for happiness. We are chasing our spouse for happiness. We are chasing some work for happiness. We are chasing a clean bathroom for happiness. We are chasing maybe a noisy neighbor for happiness. We are chasing maybe our maid to come quickly for happiness. So lots of things just keep coming like this. Okay. So this is what is called acceptance. Accepting that I have some dosha within me, some cage within me, which is why this entire drama is happening. Right? So that is what we need to remember. And once you remember that there is no blame game, it is just acceptance. Hey, I took this meal in some past life, so obviously I have to eat it. So until you finish eating it, there is no choice. Okay, so this is about karmic patterns, and this is how acceptance has to be followed. But what happens is we may not be able to accept all the time so easily. Resistance will be very great in many cases, where, especially when it comes to first circle of relationships, if you're married or typically parents, in-laws, spouse, children, or anybody you encounter very frequently in your life, those people are designed to give you a lot of, to point out a lot of cages to you. So their relief will not be so easy. Maybe with some friends or something, you might work on something and it will go off in maybe few days or few months. It will go off, but that experience will go off because you have now done. But especially with these relationships which are now going to live with you for many years and years and years, right? It is very hard to expect that I will be at peace very, very quickly, because there are many, many things that they will want to show you in one lifetime. So I would say that don't stop working on yourself. There is no end to working on yourself. Even Shivji is constantly meditating, meditating, and all that. Right? So nobody is actually stopped. Nobody stopped in their journey of evolution, because the journey to God is almost infinite. So we keep working, we keep working, we keep working. Somewhere in between, moksha, mukti, and all happens. But even after that, we are still contributing into this cosmos. Okay. So there is nothing like an end. So just keep cleaning up yourself. So, what happens typically after you accept that something is within me and you're not retaliating back, you're not resisting back, and when that place of acceptance becomes very comfortable and you are not having the need to push back or anything, at that time, depending on the kind of acceptance or the amount of acceptance or the intensity of acceptance you have or the percentage of acceptance you have, the rest of it, whatever you have completely accepted, that God, that part of the cage, God already detaches from you, which means you are already detached. So that emotion is also released, and you no longer feel the same intense feelings that you were feeling in the past, because now that much of detachment has already happened, and God has helped you get rid of all of those emotions that were already there. So lots of things happen, and with partnership to God, you have surrendered that portion of you. You have surrendered that process to God to handle further. And of course, there are lots of background processes that are happening where the pose also changes and lots of things happen like that. Okay. So, like this, our cages get detached from us. We detach from those cages, and then we get to a calmer and peaceful state gradually. With these closer circles, there may be many, many things, but it will take time. Sometimes it may take months, and sometimes it may take years also, because they are coming to show us cages that are very, very fat. So it's okay, have patience, because even though you don't see a lot of progress outside, it is definitely you are detaching from many things. If you are really, really, if you really want to grow, if you really want happiness, then you should work on this acceptance process like it is, like your life depends on it. Forget about all the attachments you have. Husband, this, that, whatever. I need to protect them. I need to do this to them. They need to be this, that. Forget about all of that. You work on your cleansing. You work on your detachments. Automatically, they will change without any that all that effort that you put on yourself. No, the result will be shown in front of you. It is as simple as that. It's as easy as that. The work on yourself is the hardest. But if you're willing to do one, if you work on that, what you thought was the hardest, which is to fix somebody else, which becomes the easiest. You don't have to even open your mouth. Automatically, they will change. If you do your sadhana, it is so easy. And I'm telling all these things from experience only. So, with my mother in law, I used to have a very, what do you say, toxic relationship in my head. Okay. She didn't have any toxic relationship with me, but I had a toxic relationship in my head with her. So, obviously, I became diseased. And while I was healing, working on my own disease and all of that, all of this inner transformation, all of this happened, right? It took many years. It took at least um, 8 to 10 years, 8 years, maybe 8 years, easily 8 years. But it was definitely a gradual transformation. It was not an overnight process. And today we are in harmony. And gradually, what happened, I started to see changes in her. Obviously, I can't fix my mother-in-law, right? Okay, who am I talking about? So I can't fix them. So, but I saw changes in them because I was willing to work on myself because I knew what I'm seeing is a reflection. More than at that time, I didn't have any idea. Oh, whatever I see in them is my reflection. It was more about I can't do. I have to clean myself. I'm having these karmic patterns, so I have to. The more I raise my consciousness, the more I get to a better place, then my experiences will change. That is what I was thinking. So obviously, I did a lot to work on myself. I refused to blame them. I refused to uh, get irritated with them. I refused to be angry on them. Why? Because I used to get hurt. I used to get damaged. No, when that was my idea. I can't. Rather, I've been putting so much of effort on myself. So I can't damage it with anger. I can't damage it with some irritation. I can't damage it with. So that was my idea at that time. So either way, whatever happened, I was willing to sit with whatever I had and not blame the POSC. And of course, meditations or chanting or blessings, something or the other kept happening, kept happening. Of course, I also saw my opinion about my own work started shifting more than when I used to initially help people. I used to think that I'm helping them, but slowly, I started to realize that I'm actually helping myself in the process. They are going to show me my own limitations, and when they show me my limitations, and when I'm able to accept them as my own, so I started seeing clients more like teachers. So, and when I work with complex cases also, I didn't see my role in this whole thing. Hey, how did I even work with these complex cases? I don't even have a background. I didn't have any knowledge to work with such people. So where is this all knowledge coming from? So maybe somewhere somebody is sending me this knowledge. So let me just pass it on. It was more like that. So the more I started working like that, the burden of expectations, the burden of wanting outcomes to happen in a certain way sort of disappeared. It took time. It did not happen overnight. It took time. So, like this, in some other area, I was releasing my preferences of the ego. In some other area, I was working to let go of my comfort zone. So, like this, one plus one plus one, somewhere they all got added up, and then they used to contribute to the overall well-being, because it doesn't matter if you have a certain area, let's say a spouse related issue, but if you work on letting go of other comfort zones that your ego has, it will reflect here also. More than it will reflect here, what I'm saying is it will definitely reflect. Okay, it will definitely reflect. But what will also happen is you will get a lot more awareness to basically practice acceptance here also, which was not happening in the past. So it doesn't have to be always walking the hard path. Sometimes, if some of these triggers are very difficult for you to deal with, I would say you may not be able to do that so easily. So work on other areas. Low hanging fruits, I would call them low hanging fruits, where maybe you are watching Netflix, so let go of Netflix. Yeah, more than fixing this issue, more than bringing acceptance, let's say with my husband, you can probably let go of Netflix because that is a comfort zone that your ego will again be very difficult with, not be willing to let go. But then, yeah, I'm going to take one brownie point from there, and then maybe I am going to quit non-veg and I'm going to take one brownie point from there. So, like this, here, there, you're just going to let go of comfort zones, and you will realize that you are actually suddenly changing in this area also. You are becoming far more empowered to practice acceptance in this area, which was actually very hard in the past. So, like this, when we are sort of dividing and conquering the fears, or conquering the challenges that we have, the challenges areas that we have, it will actually become easy for you to practice acceptance. Okay, so that was about acceptance. So, um, one concept that I wanted to bring here is, see, when we do swadhyay, okay, when we do anything related to God, maybe reading books about God, hearing about God, or chanting, or let's say doing namaz or prayers, or anything for that matter, or being in a satsang, listening to Bhagavad Gita, anything for that matter, right? Meditation, whatever you think is connecting me to a higher place, right? Singing devotional songs, any of those kinds of things. Maybe if you're painting, thinking that I'm painting for God, okay, that also becomes doing it for God. So anything that you are doing for God, okay, these actually help you a lot to raise your vibrations, and it sort of gives that it'll sort of take you to a higher state of consciousness, and in that higher state of consciousness, which is called raising your vibrations, the ego will let go of its comfort zones far more easily. The state of acceptance comes far more easily. Okay, so it is important. So then there is this another question that comes when we are constantly reading books, when we are constantly going through a lot of, let's say, spiritual books, Vedas, Upanishads, Ramayana, Mahabharat, all of those kinds of things. There are reading those kind of content or hearing those kind of content is very different from reading math, science, social studies, or something. When you read math, science, social studies, and all of that, but what you're going to carry forward to your next life is your habits that you picked up from there. Maybe hardworking habit, maybe discipline, maybe all of that you're going to carry to your next life. But when you read spiritual books and all of that, typically what you're going to carry forward is a lot of personal knowledge that you get from that. It is not exactly what was written in the book. In the beginning of this class, I spoke about takeaways, right? Similarly, when you read such books, you will actually take away something, right? And then you will practice it, or you will introspect on it, you will ponder over it, you will do manan on that. That will actually bring a lot of inner conversations that are very personal to you, that you spoke in your own language. And that is actually very, very important. So, like this, what is truly that amrit or that nectar that people talk about is actually that awareness. With awareness, automatically that knowledge, that personal knowledge that you have within you, right? It automatically opens up the level of understanding to understand some external content is already there within you, but it will get revealed to you with that amrit or that awareness. So, what is that amrit is basically when that awareness comes, it is that um, pure knowledge that you had to see the world the way it is, no? That is what is called amrit. It is that divine nectar which is actually taking you towards your divine state. But to get to that nectar, to get to that personalized knowledge that we have within us, we need awareness. For awareness, we need to let go of our ego's comforts. See, on the path of when we go through uh, in our schooling and all of that, we are constantly accumulating knowledge. We are accumulating from LKG, UKG, all of that. We are accumulating, memorizing, accumulating, all that we are accumulating. But in spiritual growth, right, we should let go of this cages and all of that. The knowledge, those are also knowledge only. No, cages are the belief system, which is sort of like knowledge only. So we need to let go, let go, let go, let go, let go. And what remains is that Amrit. Let's say you let go of some cages, some Amrit you'll get. Then you let go of some cages, some Amrit you'll get. You let go of some cages, then the whole pot of Amrit is available when you are ready for moksha. That is like the ultimate understanding and clarity you have within yourself. It was not made, it was not given to you by somebody else. It was already there. But awareness is like a lid. Okay, like how this bottle has a cork on top of it. Initially, there is no awareness. So inside this, there is, let's say, Amrit. I can't drink that Amrit and use that Amrit. So awareness has to come. As you get awareness, because you're raising your vibrations through letting go of ego's comforts. Ego's comforts makes you very dense, very heavy. Okay, all of this cap, see, the cap is so high. So ego will keep you somewhere low. You can't open the cap. Okay, you can't open the cap, or the cap will not get opened when you're in these lower areas. You have to climb up. When you climb up, automatically cork gets opened like this. So this is called awareness. And when awareness opens, whatever water you're able to get in that area is basically that Amrit or that personalized knowledge. Because you may suddenly understand, let's say you're taking bath or something, suddenly some aha moment you will have about some understanding, isn't it? Now, where did that come from? It was just that in that particular moment, the cork was opened or that awareness came, and suddenly some knowledge was revealed to you, some personalized knowledge was revealed to you. So, this is what is called that Amrit. So, to get Amrit, we can't hoard. We can't hoard knowledge from outside and expect it to open. We need to take in this knowledge, let's say even spiritual knowledge, we need to take in this knowledge. It is more like purifying bath. The more we keep doing this purifying bath, we will it will help you to let go of your ego's comforts, and that will make you lighter, and it help you ascend. And there in every single layer, you are basically getting awareness, and your personalized knowledge is just sort of getting available to you. Okay. So there was a story. I just share you a story. Some student came and told the teacher, Master, um, I'm reading so many books, but I'm not able to remember anything in those books. All these are, let's say, Shastras. I'm not able to remember anything in these books. It feels so complex. What should I do? I'm not able to memorize them. Like I read so many books in the past, but now I don't remember any of those things. Now I'm reading something, and I'm sure in future I'll not remember any of these things. Then the guru saw him, he smiled, and he just became silent. In those days, the Shishya or the disciple never used to cross question the teacher. I asked you a question. Can you please tell me? Teacher. And that those things never used to happen. So they didn't question. The teacher, he thought, okay, the teacher may answer now or he may answer later. What if he just walked away? Later on, one day, the teacher called him and he said, see, I'm feeling very thirsty. Take this basket and go fill water and come. The student wondered, why is this teacher asking me to take a basket and go fill water from the pond, from the river and come? This is actually a basket made with, let's say, it has a lot of holes, made with bamboo. Obviously, water will leak. What is he saying? Then again, no questioning back to the teacher. So what did he do? He went to the river, tried to collect water. He couldn't collect water. He tried many times because he thought a teacher there might be some hidden message in this. So let me keep doing. Let me keep doing. Maybe water will come. Water will come. Water did not come at all. Finally, after trying for so whole day, he tries. And then he comes back to the teacher and he says, sorry, I couldn't fill water because this has a lot of holes. Then the teacher asks, did you notice something? So what had happened was that basket had coal in it in the past, and it was all black. So now, after he took that basket to fill water, as he kept dipping that cane basket into the water, it became very clean over a period of time. And now the basket was very clean, and he hadn't noticed that at all. So now the teacher said, see, didn't you notice the basket has become very clean? So like this, your antakaran also was like coal, black. So as you keep getting exposed to spiritual content, spiritual satsang, spiritual anything, spiritual books, spiritual knowledge, anything connected to God, if you keep getting exposed to that, you will keep getting cleaned. So, what you are doing as of now in terms of spiritual connections, it is actually purifying you. And that purification is making you lighter and help you practice acceptance. All of that is helping you. That purification is actually helping you do all those things. It is also giving you that state of awareness to practice all these things. Why? Because the purification is equal to awareness. And through that awareness, whatever that wisdom that you feel within yourself, the wisdom of understanding, the wisdom of able to, the wisdom through which you are able to apply that knowledge, right? That is what is called Amrit. You got access to that Amrit. It's like you drank that Amrit. And that is why you're able to apply that knowledge very, very easily through your own personalized thing. Okay, it's very personal to you. That is why takeaways are so different all the time. And after that, let's say they share experiences. After applying these takeaways, they kept practicing. They share some unique experiences where they were able to practice acceptance and all of that in some unique situations in their own family. That came from personalized wisdom, some Amrit that was generated through that experience. Okay, we are always having access to Amrit. So that level of clarity, that level of understanding that you have suddenly and all of that is all that Amrit that was made available to you because you deserved it. You did all the hard work to get to that state of vibration, to drink that nectar. Then that nectar is called personalized knowledge, or it's called Tattva Jnanam. Okay, Tattva Jnana means that knowledge of God, the knowledge of cosmos, where you're able to see things the way they are and not see things through the personalized lens of your own belief system. And that is the happiness that you get from that is very different. So, which is why people crave for that. Okay, so and for all of this to happen, trust me, it's hydration is very important in your body. In your body, hydration is very important. Otherwise, it'll all get clogged. If your whole day eating dense foods and heavy meats, animal foods, all of that, they are dense. Nothing wrong with eating all of those things, but just that you won't be able to operate very flexibly. So it is important that when we are letting go of denser foods and other things and bring in a lot of hydration, water, coconut water, lemon water, let's say juices from your vegetables, fruits, greens. Lot of these things, if you're keeping your body hydrated, 3 to 4 liters of liquids on a daily basis, aram se all these things you'll be able to practice. Otherwise, in a very clogged body, energy also will not flow. This liquid or the hydration is necessary for our body to, let's say, make the energy flow seamlessly in the body. And energy, we are nothing but energy in motion, emotion, right? So all that is very important. So, right, what else? Yeah, I think I pretty much covered everything related to ego and all of that. Remember, one thing I wanted to stop this class with a note on fasting. Today is Ekadashi, right? There is a not just Ekadashi, we do lots of fasting, right? Navratri fasting is also coming next week. So, what is fasting? Fasting majorly is fasting the ego. To me, the ego may be having different comfort zones. Somebody else may be having different comfort zones. So, what are you willing to give up for God? Of course, on a daily basis, we are definitely working on acceptance and all of that, right? Which is giving up our comfort zones of the ego. We are already doing it, but on these days, the energy in the cosmos is very high, which means it will help you grow faster if you're able to apply the same things that you did on other days. So here fasting, it's not always fasting on food. Now, let's say you're very, very used to fasting on Navratra or any Ekadashi in a certain way. Let's say you're doing only juice fasting, or let's say only raw on Ekadashi. And it's now a habit. Okay, it's you don't think twice. Oh, Ekadashi, okay, just go on fruits. It has become like a second nature to you. Then that is no longer called fasting anymore, because you are not willing to give up anything. That giving up and all is already done, and now you're in your comfort zone. So you need to find a new comfort zone that your ego is clinging on to, and then work on giving up that through your uncomfortable state. So always remember, fasting means being in the uncomfortable zone all through fasting. You are actually pushing yourself, because the ego doesn't like to stay in that state, but you are still willing to walk that path. For whom? For God. That is what is called fasting. For example, let's say you can't let's say I go to the gym every day, right? So if I say if going to the gym itself is very difficult for me, then I can't say, oh, today is fasting, so I'm going to give up gym. No, giving up gym is not it's not called fasting, because my ego is still, let's say, will say, oh, gym, okay, no, it's the right thing to do, so I have to push myself and go. Okay, let's say if you're still pushing yourself and going every day, that is not what is called fasting. But let's say every day you're doing something nice and comfortable. You're drinking a hot cup of coffee. Very nice, comfortable. Aha, super. Are you willing to give up that comfort zone for a day or during your fasting? It doesn't like, ego doesn't like that. So you should always, when you're doing fasting, evaluate if whatever I'm trying to fast on, is it in my comfort zone, or am I being in the uncomfortable zone? Where is my ego clinging on to? My mouth is clinging on to, or rather, if it's food, then if it's like bhai haath ka khel hai type, second nature, then that is not fasting. Remember that you need to reevaluate your fasting approaches or your fasting principles, or not principles, fasting methods or fasting objects or whatever you call it, that every now and then, because as you keep practicing it, ego sort of surrenders and comes along, and now it has become comfortable there. So now that is no longer called fasting. Okay, so reevaluate this every single time. Okay, um, what feels difficult to you, what feels challenging to you, that is fasting. And there are lots of spiritual things that ego wants to do sometimes. For example, let's say ego wants to always attend a satsang, ego wants to always attend Bhagavad Gita, ego also, because there is a lot of let's say good feeling that you get. Do not give up sattvic attachments as of now, because sattvic attachments are what is taking you towards God. Give up your let's say lower tendencies and attachments first. Don't say, oh yeah, see, my ego is very comfortable with attending Gita class, so I'm going to quit Gita class today because it's fasting. No, that is not what you do it. It is a wrong approach. First, focus or attack all your lower tendencies where you have a lot of uh, where you know that it is like sort of indulgence kind of thing, right? There you attack first, and then you can attack your rajasic states, where you are let's say addicted to the gym. Maybe those days you can just say, okay, I'm going to just uh, I'm not going to overdo anything because I want a perfect body, so I'm just going to do a little bit of cardio, I'm just going to walk or do some yoga that day. Like, you have it, let's say you have a tendency to like push yourself and then just do that, then only you'll get a high. But that day, when you're fasting, you're just going to say, no, I'm not going to listen to my ego and then go on that path, even though I know that is what I want to do. I'm going to take this other path where I'm going to slow down and I'm just going to do yoga today. Your ego hates it. So boring. It's so slow. All that ego will tell you. But still, you should do that. Okay, so that is sort of fasting. And then you're saying, God, I'm doing this for you. See, that is my area. That is my preference. That is where my preference is. That is where my craving is, but I'm just going to do this because it's the right thing to do. And I know you're going to be happy if I do this. So that is what is called the right way of fasting. Okay, it's not always about food, it's many things. And why typically at a population level they have always given up non-veg, they've always given up, let's say, denser foods, is because, of course, again, fasting has everything to do with God. And as a population, people were eating the same things, people were having same habits. Today we probably have different habits because of the luxury that we have in terms of food available outside, but maybe different, let's say, healthy practices and different non-healthy practices, or whatever you call it, like different names we have. um, but that is why we have a general uh, principle for fasting. Oh, ekadashi, do this. Oh, in Navratra, these are vrat ka khana. All of this have come because the population at community level, or at a collective level, people were following the same things. At a collective level they decided to do something. At a collective level they went forward with that approach. But at an individual level, understand why you do it. God, you will never get closer to God or that higher consciousness unless you make yourself lighter by letting go of the baggage that you have, which is your comfort of the ego. So, and what comfort you have, what that your ego is comfortable with, only you know, right? Nobody else knows. So, for you, maybe, let's say, vrat ka khana, like so many people in Ekadashi, they eat chapati, idli, dosa, and all of that. For them, rice is like a big thing. So for them, if they quit rice one day and sambar rice, all that, if they quit one day and then now eat upma one day and whole day they are eating upma, idli or something like that, for them that itself is like called fasting, because for them, they cannot live without rice. Yeah, for them that is fasting. But for a person who has probably like cooked food itself is heavy for them. It's then for them maybe they don't want to eat raw, but they want to at least eat some vegetable or the other, some curry or the other, some at least buckwheat dosa or the other. For such people, maybe raw is uncomfortable, right? So fruits are uncomfortable that day. So go ahead and eat fruits that day, or for that fasting. Go ahead and eat fruits. Why? Because it's difficult for you to follow it, and ask God, God, you stand inside me and then make me do it. I'm going to surrender this entire fasting business to you. I want to do it. I'm just going to surrender it to you. I'm okay with any outcome, good, bad, ugly. I can do, can't do. Good outcome. I did fasting. I couldn't do fasting. Whatever outcome. I'm surrendering this to you. You please help me. I'm going to give my level best. I'm going to give my best to do this. Like as if I am doing it. I'm just going to do it, but I know you are actually making me do it. So when you sort of give the control to God and then you just go with the flow, no, I mean, impossible things actually get done. And you step out of that day and you actually think about it. Did I really do this? Then your ego will never even agree to do that again, because it feels so big as a task. But with God's help, that day you somehow did it off. But the same thing, if you relook at it again, I mean, I can't really do this. It's so laborious. Why? Because you're thinking from a point of ego. Okay, so there are so many things like this. Okay, let's take some questions if you all have. Do you all have any questions? I hope the class was not overwhelming and not confusing. Were you able to understand all the concepts? Any doubts so far? Or have you all slept off?
No, no.
Not slept off. Okay, thankfully. Anju has not slept, so great. Or did you finish your nap and come?
I did sleep in between and
See, you finished your nap. Okay, anyway, see, that is all this is purifying you, so just continue. Okay, yeah. Any other doubts? If there are no doubts, we can actually wind up the call. No doubts? No questions? Okay, any feedback from your side? about what you understood? Anybody? You can unmute and then talk.
Hi,
I'm on a cell line. Can't see anybody. So,
hi Smritaji, it's me Kritika.
Kritika.
For me, today's class, that hook point was when you said that not every action we do is equal to the exact outcome, which
Hmm.
I actually do that. Oh, I did this much. How come I can get this outcome? I deserve to get more. Illa, sometimes I feel this is too much for me. Yeah, I don't accept that appreciation which I receive for what I have did. Hey, actually, I didn't do that
Correct.
much. Yeah, this is over. I feel like that. So this point made me reflect for today's session.
Yeah. What Bhagavad Gita is also telling us that it's coming from our past merits, because you did this work. You definitely did this work in surrender, because you focus so much on your job. It is like there were no blocks when you were doing this work. The
Mm-hmm.
energy channel was sort of open
Yes.
when you're doing it selflessly, right? For God and all of that, the energy channels are open. Then you will actually get what you have only earned in the past.
Mm-hmm.
They say that all the rewards that we have earned are staying there at our door waiting for us. But we are in resistance most of the time, hence we don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
But when we are open, constantly open to even all kinds of outcomes, because we are not bothered about outcomes. We know, okay, any outcome comes, it is for my best. So when we are in that state, but we are just focusing on our duty and studying or doing any work, I must do this work to the best of my knowledge. I need to give 100% to this work. And nothing should I should leave no stone unturned, because God should not be disappointed in me. See, imagine that when you give some work to somebody and they somehow do it half. Let's say you pester them and then you make them do, and then they do half. How irritated you'll feel. I mean, cages only. I'm just saying, some work God gave you, and then you were like cribbing, and then somehow you did that job. Imagine how God will feel. But despite that, He is unconditionally loving us.
Yes.
So that is what we have to think. If we are behaving like Him unconditionally, what would God do if He gave me this work and I did not do it properly? Let me do this nicely. Let me do this the way I want jobs to be done.
Yes.
So then it will automatically fall in place. Then you are basically giving it your best
Mm.
and not really. See, when that job that you do is your best, and you've given, and you're wholeheartedly satisfied with whatever you did, no, then you are actually not even waiting for that outcome. Even when that outcome comes, you are like, that satisfaction is already there. So you've already reached there. You've already reached that state. So then really, this doesn't really matter. The outcomes don't matter. The outcomes matter when you don't do this properly. That satisfaction is not there. Yeah. Thank you. I think there was some text that was in the chat. Can somebody read out?
Yeah, like Rakesh has raised his hand.
Rakesh, you can unmute and talk.
Yeah, ma'am. Ma'am, Abhinandan, ma'am. Actually,
Atmanandan.
yeah, when you were relating that mother-in-law episode that you had, I remember that you were saying that you had an even instance where you wanted to move out of the house, and it took so much of time, and where
Yeah.
you got into a stable situation where even it didn't bother you while leaving, actually. What I remember,
Yes. Yes.
and
What I had told was, is when I did not want to live in a, let's say, in this joint setup, I wanted to always leave and have my own setup. But all the doors were like a deadlock, or a dead end. Nothing was open. Let's say leaving this house and going was not an option, because they wouldn't be able to take care of this whole house, and we were the elders. And then moving out and then going into some other place that we all have or of our own was very far. That was also not practical. So it was all like a dead end. It did not work out. So I was living with that feeling of lack, for a long time. But then at some maybe I had done other ego releases or whatever, and someday when some other situation came where I went to a friend's house and suddenly uh, that was some apartment, and when I went there, suddenly I felt, oh my God, the house that I'm living in is actually quite big, quite spacious, and there is so much of in their house there was no maid. I mean that was their choice. No offense there, but I'm just saying. I was just thinking, oh, in our house there is a person who comes and cleans also. I don't have to struggle to do so many things. I mean, either way, I just looked back at the positives that I had. I had already, which I had failed to see in the past. So it felt so overwhelmingly grateful that I attributed all that to my in laws. If they were not there, then I wouldn't have this house in the first place because I was living with them. So that flood of gratitude really flushed off everything, the hate that I had and all. Then what happened slowly, I started to become very grateful for this house and living here, even if we had only one room, and it was a small setup for us. It was still I was feeling very grateful for that overall thing, which I did not notice in the past. And as soon as that happened, right, I stopped looking for a need to get out of the house. And as soon as that happened, within 1 month, something happened and some turn of events happened. And my in laws were trying to sell off some property to actually construct this house. Suddenly, that property got sold in a very miraculous way. That property got sold, and somebody who bought that property also gave white cash. Sorry, white money they gave. They didn't give black money. It all happened so nicely in a very nice and legal way, and soon you were able to see that we got this house constructed also. And although I didn't want to leave the house, when we constructed this house, we actually went to a different rented place. And my in-laws moved to my brother-in-law's house, which was a slightly bigger house. We took a smaller house and then we went for rent outside. See, now I had my own individual setup. I didn't ask for it. When I was asking for it desperately, it did not come. Remember that video that I shared where that monk was saying that chain, he used a chain and he said, what you want will actually go away from you. And then what you keep pushing away will actually come close to you. Same concept. So yeah, what was that question? So this was the incident. What was the question around this, Akesh?
Ma'am, nothing was the question. The same thing is reflected in my life too. Recently, we started looking for a house actually, as it was getting congested at home. And slowly, when I started things to accept, I just dropped down the decision of moving out of the house and I stayed with the family currently. And later now, soon, when I came to a situation where I'm ready to accept or even live in a stable kind of situation, my mother started searching for home for us. She literally now found a home for us and she wants us to move out for that reason. And now I'm in a state where I I don't even really want to move out of the house, or if it really comes also that kind of situation, I'm ready to accept that kind of situation is where I found that this actually.
Yeah. I mean, I can totally relate to that. I mean, like I said, I had a very toxic relationship, right? So there came a situation in my life where I was like, no, don't go, stay with us, stay with us, stay with us. I
Yes.
had begged, but then they wanted to actually go separate and they wanted to have that independent life and all that. So now
And
they are actually in the ground floor and then we live in the top floor. I mean, we lead a very harmonious life now. So, but then yeah, it took many years for me to get to this place. But it is not impossible. See, we need to be very clear what we want, and our cleansing is going to make all the desires come true. We don't have to chase those desires. We don't have to chase desires. God knows what we want. We don't have to work towards it. If you work on your releasing your cages, automatically you will become lighter, and in the higher states, those desires are waiting for you to happen. So it's very important for you to understand this concept, even this manifestation and all of that people do. Sooner or later, they will realize that running behind that from one flag, from one moving goalpost to another moving goalpost, again, there is no happiness. Again, you will do manifestation. Again, you will do manifestation. Again, you will do manifestation. There is no end to that because you're constantly draining your energy from one desire to another desire, from one desire to another desire. You should know that whatever you need is already with you. In the current state, you have to accept whatever is already given to you. And you need to come to that state of acceptance that whatever I currently have, even though if I think it's less or more or whatever, come to that state that this is what I need to have now. That is why it is there with me. What I don't have, I can't have. Because if I have that, my ego will not be able to handle it. Maybe some different repercussion is going to happen. That is why it's not with me yet. So, what comes to us, what is with us, is a blessing, and not more, not less. Nothing comes to us before time. Okay, it will happen always in divine time.
Exactly, ma'am. And I can see
Before we
that
deserve it, before we deserve, nothing will come to us.
yeah, you said even seeing the clients as teachers, that also I had seen many times the poses coming in front of me, and always you insisted like to stay in the middle. Don't go over, I mean, over positive or over negative. That is where things always I can feel that the stability will come on. And definitely,
Yes.
what all you said today reflected so many insights, ma'am. Actually, it's like an eye opener again for me. To stay balanced in a way where you need to get out of the limitations or the cages. Yeah, it's like
Yes.
a wonderful session I had, ma'am. Very much gratitude to you today, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks a
yeah.
lot.
Thank you, Rakesh. Thank you so much. Any other questions?
No.
Somebody had written a
Do a sharing.
chat. Yeah, Anju.
Yeah. Just sorry. Yeah. Yeah, I just want to do a sharing. 8 months back, my daughter had got married, right? It was against the wishes of my husband, and there were so much of unrestless in my at my home, and also she had and actually she had left her job thinking that she would join her husband. He runs a comedy club, I say. So she left a job, but once that she got married, before the time she got married, the club got closed. My daughter, younger daughter, she lost her job, and my son-in-law's sister also, she also lost her job, and there was a lot of disturbances in me as to what will happen because they had moved to a bigger home, uh, and already they were living on her savings only, right? So that's when I had asked you, Smita, in the class, because I was going I didn't know what to do, and especially it's because it was against my husband's wishes. I had the fear, if she is not living the way I thought, so he will question me. Yeah, and he'll say, see, मैंने
You're
ये
feeling
बोल
responsible for her.
yeah. So that's why you said, and I spoke to asked you in the class, you said, it is their journey, accept it. Yeah. So after that, I accepted whatever. Yeah, it is, there were high and lows, but I always say, no, I have to accept it. It is their journey. It's okay. They will manage. They will manage. Because to get to get the club, the venue of the club also took a very long time. And they were living on their savings only. And all the savings were getting depleted. Yeah. So then also I accepted it's okay. Seeing them, I said, nahi. And she was having some hiccups in the marriage also with the husband in laws. But I said, it's okay, it's accept, she will manage it. This is starting. Yeah. So finally, in the April, they had taken up a venue. And slowly, the work started, though it took a very long time. And now I'm really happy and grateful to tell you that the club has opened. And these two worked so hard, and the club has made the international way. Yeah, no one expected. Actually, they said my son-in-law saying the comedians, no one, they all underestimated me, and they each and everyone who have coming to the club, right, they said it is made an international way, and each and one Joby, they have received a lot of appreciations, and they're getting so many. मतलब, सामने से ही they want, many of them, they want to work in the club. They do want to do events in the
Yeah.
club. Yeah.
See, this shows that you have cleaned yourself to that extent and stayed out of that. Your
Yeah.
ego is interference. It's
Yes.
not there.
And also,
Congratulations.
so yeah, when she had some issues with the mother-in-law, though mother-in-law, not that she was not against them here, but there are some cleanliness ka issue. She's very clean, and yeah. But now after 8 months, she spoke to my sister. "Okay, I'm really happy that they were here because the bonding got increased and they were very supportive. So the thing, yeah, I was feeling what will happen. And actually, I was happy that her in-laws are here, but she was not able to accept it as a. But after 8 months, she herself was saying, "I'm really happy that they were here, and I wish they would have stayed here for more time, karke, though they have left now." So,
Mhm.
so I
Very
feel
nice.
your words and my friend Anu, she had sent some few videos after hearing what I was telling you. So that all helped me. You know, every time something happens, no, this is her journey. She will manage it. She will experience it. She will learn from it. They will learn to it. They will do a good job. Yeah. So
Yeah. It's very important to stay out of the way, even though you know that rather you are basically projecting your fears and all of that. So even I do that, like with my younger one, right? So she wanted to fast on Ekadashi. She wanted to eat only raw. But today she's going to get her wisdom tooth removed. So I was thinking, okay, tomorrow onwards she's going to be only on juices, all of that for some maybe couple of days or something. So maybe I should offer her cooked food today because she will probably not want to. She wanted to be on some light foods only today. So again, tomorrow also she'll be fasting on juices and all that because that is again her uncomfortable zone. So I was thinking, should I offer? Then I decided, no, I'm going to step back. It was her decision to do this. If she wants to change her decision, I've already told her today is the dental appointment. If God gives her the awareness and she changes the decision, it's up to her. So I prepared myself for all outcomes. I said, okay, if she says I want to eat cooked, okay, I'll give her cooked. If she says I'm not going to eat cooked, I'm going to eat only raw, yeah, I'll be okay with that also. So that way, we as mothers, we try to be overprotective, and we are actually being overprotective of our cages that we have towards them because our happiness lies in those cages. Because when they become uncomfortable, no, we get sad. So we need to identify our cages with respect to our children. But then when we let go of that and learn to surrender that to God, that's okay, whatever outcome happens, it will actually fall in place. In fact, in our house also with me and my husband, we have sort of rather stepped back. All the time we would tell our daughter, study, 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 study. She would not. But then what we did was eventually we started to focus on our spiritual chanting and other things. And then we did not really question her about, did you study this? Did you study that? Tomorrow is this, tomorrow is that, all that helicopter parenting, right? We did not do all that. We just stepped back. Yeah. If she fails, also okay. If she passes, also okay. If she gets good marks, also okay. If she doesn't get good marks, also okay. Sort of we practice acceptance to everything, every outcome. And then slowly, that seriousness in her only improved. It took time. It took time for us to get to this state because we saw so many cages, so many fears, so many apprehensions. But because I'm also doing this class, no, it helps me be in that state of awareness about these practices more and more. And of course, my husband was applying Gita concepts to practice this. Either way, it's very important for us to step back and watch the show. Watch the show. When you're watching the show, watch your triggers and work on your triggers. Come to acceptance with respect to those triggers. Mind your business. Don't get in between. Even if you want to advise your children, advise them, drop your expectations. Clarify. If they have questions, keep clarifying. But ultimately, what you get karmically is, of course, what you deserve. So, okay. Yeah. Thank you so much. With respect to fasting, I wanted to give you one more point. Let's say on fasting, you're doing chanting, sitting and doing chanting, sitting and doing extra jap or anything like that, right? Your ego does not want to sit typically for a longer time. those days, if you choose to do 1 extra hour, for example, I'm just saying, that is also called getting rather putting the ego out of its comfort zone. Okay, find out where all your comforts lie. You have many areas to fast. It's not just one practice. Okay, think and then see how you can handle it. Okay, take care. Bye. Be blessed.
Bye, Siddha.
Bye. Let me just stop the recording.